should be live. Just need to sort out that name. Lamp texture and unwrap talk college. Alright, cool. So this is going to be the video explanation of the lamp. In terms of unwrapping, it was a lot easier than most of my others. The way this was unwrapped was pretty much the same way. Don't know what happened there, that should have been separate. But I mean, it's so small that you can't really notice that. So I mean, that would be another way I'd improve it if I was to redo it. But I didn't actually see that. Alright, so like I said, this was much easier than a lot of my other unwraps because it's all essentially box-like. And following the tutorial I saw a while back, in that ideally you'd want a new UV island roughly every 90 degrees. I did kind of follow that, so I just go into island mode. So you got like that, and then 90 degrees. Then I have that side. You got that side and that side. So they're all their own UV islands. And then you got this one here, and then coming off that, you then have these four. This was done using edge select, and then selecting all my hard edges, essentially where there's a 90 degree change, or where I want there to be a new island, so selecting things like that. Then coming down here to convert edge selection to seams, selecting everything, quick planar, peel, and then just a bit of custom packing really. So overall, I would say it's packed really nicely. I mean, obviously there's some where there's a bit of gap, but with Substance Painter, you don't want the difference in texture resolutions to be too different. Otherwise, if things have the same material, one would be like really detailed, and then one would be less detailed if they had different scales. So you want to keep them relatively the same. I mean, I've changed a couple of bits. I think if I do like that, yeah, so that's what it originally looked like. And then just tweaking it, so like putting things in there, just scaling everything up a little bit more. Just it helped it a lot, because the way I saw it was, in terms of scale, it's not too different, and like things like I could put this inside there and I'd only have to scale it a little bit. So I tried doing that as much as I could. As you can see here, things like putting like the base in there, the candle inside the top, all inside the gaps that I could. So overall, I'm really happy with this packing. With the video, there is a short little time lapse on like the entire process of the lamp modelling from start to end. The unwrap is a bit different, and that's because this is essentially the version 2 of the lamp with a flame. Because in my FMP last year, I had no light emitting source, and that's something I wanted to improve this year. In terms of texturing, if I come over here to Substance Painter, I think if I just uncheck everything, and then just go to my normal map here, you can see where the high poly has baked like smoother edges. And so if I go to M, you can see it here, which I really like the look of it. I have no idea where my textures actually are. Oh, they're here. So like if I turn off the normal map and turn it back on, you can really see the difference, and I really like that. So another thing I did with this version was color selection. So by this I mean in my high poly, I'm not sure if it's this one or not. I don't think it is, because I had problems and I had to export and re-import, so I've not actually got what I originally had. But I had an ID mask here, so like the metal's blue, the glass is red, I think the candle might be yellow or something. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I had an ID mask to help me, so things like the wick. Oh my god, what? Oh, I see, it's all under one smart material called lamp. Alright, so what I'm going to do then is just uncheck everything here. So first of all, you've got the wick, which, oh my god, it's really hard to get to. Alright, here we go. And this was just essentially quite a rough black with striped height, and if you can see here, it's very, very subtle. I mean, theoretically you're not actually going to see it, so it doesn't make that much of a difference. And then there's the candle as well. This again, you're not going to see it as much, and this is a yellowy, non-metallic, not overly that rough, because wax is quite glossy, and then there's just a bit of dirt, which theoretically it would be there. So that's just black with a dirt generator. So then that's the candle. Then there's the metal, which is the blue color selection, and this is the dark metal I use for the cannon, a lot of other things in my project, which I've already given a video explanation on how this was made, as well as the glass. For the glass it's a lot easier, so it's base colour, dirt for the roughness, and yeah, this like fairly opaque. Then I had actual dirt, which was affecting colour instead of just roughness, and then I had scratches, which was set to linear dodge. Yeah, linear dodge instead of normal. Yeah, that's right. Just to give it a little bit more scratch look. And then there's other stuff which I chose not to name. Okay, so that's I don't actually think I need that. No, I don't need that layer. So what I've got here is my candle flame, and the way I did this was very difficultly. getting an image of a flame, adding it in a fill layer as the base colour and opacity, setting the emissive to quite an orangey colour, and then going into F1 and lining it up using the offset and scale, because as you see here it's set to scale 5. If I was to set it to 1, you could barely see it, so like that took probably the most amount of time for this actual asset, but I actually do really like this asset. The problem is that it's not really a big enough asset to showcase, it's just kind of there. So yeah, I mean that's how I did it, and like I said, I was really happy with the packing. This one. Oh, that's missing the windows. Yeah, because in UE4 I had to have the windows as a separate object because of transparency issues. So yeah, that's what I had to do. And if I did know that, I would have done the windows just as a separate unwrap, because that way it can utilize the material a lot more. But yeah, that's how I unwrapped the lamp. Like I said, it was just selecting edge loops where there should be a hard edge, like this. Like, really not that time consuming. And then just setting that to a seam. Obviously, like, I had to uncheck some areas like that, but setting to the seam, quick planar, peel, and in some cases flatten. I didn't actually talk about this, but I think it might be this one, maybe. No. Alright, maybe I didn't have to flatten, but because this is the same, so yeah. I don't think I actually did flatten for this one. So yeah, like I said, really happy with the packing, really happy with the texturing. It's just it's not a big enough or important enough asset to show off, and I feel like it's too similar to my FMP last year in terms of like showing it off, because I did showcase my lamp last year, which was very similar to this one, just without the glass or candle. I think it might be a slightly different top as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.